hope you are doing great. This is Zozo from Ross IELTS Academy. Today, I want to check a Task 2 essay which one of our candidates has sent us and see why she got a band 5.5 in her Writing Task 2. But before we get started, let me ask you a question. Do you like the writing correction videos we are making for you? Do you want to see more of those? If yes, then subscribe to our channel. Because guess what? There is a lot of other videos on the way. Very well, let's get back to the writing correction. But first, I need to tell you about 4 important tips that you have to take into consideration when writing your essay in Academic Writing Task 2. Let's see what they are. First of all, for a good paraphrasing of the question statement, you shouldn't eliminate the main words. Instead, it's recommended to use synonyms in order to get a good score in task achievement. All the ideas should be related and well developed throughout the whole essay. It means that the paragraphs you write should be connected to each other on the meaning and coherence and cohesion. So you shouldn't contradict in the paragraphs you write. Try to use vocabularies and collocations appropriately with the correct spellings because your text should be error-free based on lexical resource criteria. Pay attention to punctuations. If you make punctuation mistakes, it will have a negative impact on your grammar score. I mean, in this criteria, your punctuation will be evaluated. Have it in mind that you should always leave a space after all punctuation marks like full stop or comma if you are taking computer-based IELTS exam. But do not worry, I will get into details of each one of these tips and you'll see how they work. Remember, you can send us your writings to be corrected and get a written and video feedback. Now, let's see how we can correct this writing. Before I start the evaluation, let's see what the question is. The question is, nowadays, with the advancement of technology and transportation facilities, people can work and live anywhere they want. Discuss its advantages and disadvantages and give your own opinion. So, this is an advantage and disadvantage question. I start evaluating this writing according to the first criteria, which is task response. It is written in 374 words and shouldn't be less than 250 words. So, this is a good point. But why did she get 5.5 in task response? Let's see. I start with the first paragraph. This essay will argue that when people have access to new technology, they can live wherever they want. While usage of new technologies can produce some problems such as shortage of access to it, I believe that it has some benefits like easing the communication between people. As you see, she named one advantage and one disadvantage with her own opinion, which is really good. But she did not paraphrase the topic sentence correctly, and she has eliminated the main words in the question statement like nowadays, transportation facilities, advancement, and work. To paraphrase the question statement well, you shouldn't eliminate the main words. Instead, you should use the correct synonyms in order to get a good score in task achievement. Moving on to the second paragraph. The main advantage of this concept is that with new technology, you can facilitate and speed up everything. This is to say that when you have access to new improvement things like smartphone, internet, airplane, and etc., you can carry out whatever you want like sending message, calling close-knit as quick as possible. For example, a survey which was done on 10 passengers showed us that the people who used an airplane to arrive at a destination had a speed 10 times more than the others who traveled to the same destination with a bike. However, these improvements can increase the life standard. I believe that it can cause problems which permit the people not to live wherever they want. Okay. As you see, she did a good explanation in body paragraph 1, talking about the main advantage of advancement of technology, then a good development and a relevant example. But the point is that she didn't talk about the transportation facilities and its advantages. And this word again was eliminated in her text. So it affects her score in task response. Moving on the third paragraph, the main disadvantage of this concept is that all of the people nationwide haven't got access to new technology. This is to say that some people prefer to live in a place which doesn't derive a benefit from new technology, even if the simplest one, the internet, and because of the important role of this easiest advancement instrument, they don't have a wide choice of a place where they want to live. For instance, my grandmother wanted 2 years ago move into her new house in a village which had lesser pollution than her hometown. But she didn't have an access to internet and she couldn't afford it too. Because of that, she couldn't stay in contact with us. In my opinion, this drawback, like the access and the cost of new technology, play more important role than benefits. Okay, in this paragraph, she named one disadvantage, then some more explanations, which is good, and then she supported her ideas with an example. But at the end of body paragraph 2, in this type of question, advantage and disadvantage question, she should have said why she is in favor or against this disadvantage. Let's see how she wrote her conclusion. In conclusion, people can live and work whenever they want, but it depends on their life condition, like the amount of access to new technology and praise of that. Actually, it wasn't a complete conclusion because first she should have paraphrased the topic sentence shortly and then mentioned her own opinion at the end of the paragraph. So if I want to give a score to this candidate on task response, the score would be 5.5. Thinking about the coherence and cohesion of her text was not easy to understand because of many grammatical and lexical errors. As you can see, I highlighted the grammatical errors in blue and the lexical ones in yellow. She had left one extra space between the paragraphs she wrote, while the essay in writing task 2 should be written in 4 separate paragraphs. Apart from that, the second paragraph was not connected to the first one on the meaning and coherence and cohesion. Here, in the last sentence of the second paragraph, she had said, I believe that it can cause problems which permit the people not to live whenever they want. So here she contradicted what she had expressed in the introduction. Here in the introduction, she had said, I believe that it has some benefits like easing the communication between people. So it was a contradiction which has a negative impact on her score based on coherence and cohesion. So if I want to give a score to this candidate on coherence and cohesion, I would say that the score would be 5.5. Talking about lexical resource and vocabulary, there were some spelling and collocation errors in her writing. For example, here in the first paragraph, as you can see this word, the first letter of while should be written in capital when at the beginning of a sentence. Or here, the word airplane, again here airplane, then had, hometown, and here in the last paragraph, excess were not written correctly based on spelling. There were some other lexical errors and I'm not going to talk about them because they are a lot, and as you can see they are highlighted in yellow. They are a lot and we don't have time actually. So you should only pay attention to this point that your essay should be lexically error-free, and if I want to give a score to this candidate on vocabulary, the score would be 5.5. Talking about her grammatical range and accuracy, she had so many punctuation errors. Sometimes she had forgotten to put comma or full stop when it was necessary, and she hadn't left the space after punctuation marks she had used. Let's see some of her grammatical and punctuation mistakes, just some of them, because if I want to talk about all of them, you would get bored. As you see, they are all highlighted in blue. For example, in her first sentence here, she had forgot to put a comma, so I added it for her. Or here, there was no space
after full stop. Here we have the same problem with the space. Again, here we have the same problem with the space, and here too. Here in this sentence, it says you can carry out whatever you want, like sending message. Actually, message is not correct grammatically, so we say sending a message or sending messages. And here is extra and should be removed. She had some more punctuation errors. For example, she had put comma where it was not necessary, like here, 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 and here. So if I want to give a score to this candidate on grammar, I would say the score would be 6.
See, if you want to get more than 5.5, then avoid the mistakes that our candidate made in her writing. Remember, you can always send us your writings to be corrected and get a written and video feedback. I have another recommendation for those who want to boost their score in a short time and learn all the possible techniques they need in writing or even other skills. You can visit our website and purchase our wonderful VIP, silver, and gold packages, which include every single thing you need to get a very high score in your test. Good luck!